I found out that my controlling mother is putting out money from my trust fund and putting it in her retirement fund. Now she's terrified because I am pressing charges. I, 19, have been saving for a truck for over a year now, using money from part-time jobs. I saved up enough to buy a used pickup that I wanted. I test drove it several times to make sure it was in good condition. I bought the truck, paid for several months of insurance up front, and got it registered. I drove it around for a few days, and it ran fine. My mom asked to borrow it a few days ago, saying she needed a pickup to help a friend move some things, and I agreed. All I said was that I needed the gas replaced. I was respectful, and thought that was fair, since I've been paying for all the gas and the maintenance on her car for the last year as part of the deal for me using it. I got the truck back that evening, and it's been giving me problems since. It stalls on me, and sometimes won't even crank. I asked my mom about it, and she got snooty, and said that she had her mechanic friend look at it. He replaced some wires and tuned it up, but it ran fine when she parked it. That's when red flags went up. Yes, the truck had a few issues, so it probably needs a tune-up, but I changed the oil and spark plugs when I got it. I have the previous owner's maintenance receipts, and as I said, nothing was so bad on it that I could drive it for several days before I lent it to her. My mom has a habit of being financially controlling, and she did not like it when I got the truck. She wanted me to buy a sedan from one of her friends, and she complained non-stop when I brought the truck home. She told me outright that it was a waste of money, and I shouldn't have bought a vehicle from someone I didn't know. Examples of her being financially controlling are how she keeps track of my work hours, and on top of paying her rent, which is equal to half of my pay, I also have to buy groceries for both myself and her. She also won't let me have access to the money my dad left when he died a few years ago, and constantly grips whenever I spend money on myself, which isn't often. I've only bought some clothes and a few games for my PC over the last year because of how hard I worked to save for a vehicle. I personally feel like she took it to him and had him do something to the truck, but I have no proof. My aunt told me last night that if my mom and I have it out, I could stay with her family, and I'm considering accusing my mom to her face of sabotaging the truck. Update. 3 days later, I talked to my mom's mechanic friend, and he said that she brought it in for a tune-up because it was backfiring. Long story short, the timing belt started whining, so he replaced it. My mom didn't tell me the truck had to be towed home because he didn't time it correctly, and she was supposed to get a professional to look at it. That explains why the truck has only cranked once since then. So that's the good news. The truck is fixable, and my aunt and uncle will help me. When I told my aunt the full story about the truck and the money my dad left for me, she got mad and said she and my uncle were coming over Thursday night to pick me up in my truck. She wouldn't tell me what she was mad about, but I was packed up when they showed up that evening. As soon as she arrived, she fought with my mom, asking her about my dad's money. There was a lot of cursing and names called, and my mom almost called the police, but my aunt threatened to have her arrested for fraud if she didn't own up, so the cops weren't called. I'm not going to go into the full details of the argument because it's too much to type, but my mom has been pulling small amounts out every month for the last year to supplement her retirement salary. The account was put in trust before my dad died, and my mom was the trustee, which is what made my aunt mad because she knew the money was there and didn't know that I had never received any of it. I hadn't ever talked about finances with her before this. My mom doesn't want to turn the account over because she claims the trust paperwork says she's not required to until I turn 25. She also started yelling at me for running my mouth to my aunt and accusing me of trying to ruin her retirement. She said she deserved that money for caring for me and my dad when he got sick. I got pissed and told her that I was going to sue her for the money and that I knew what happened to the truck, and I was going to sue her for that too. She kind of broke down and started saying how hard it had been for her since my dad died, but I didn't buy it because she's always been petty and controlling, even when I was a kid. She told me to get out and tried to turn it into a pity party about how hurt she was and how she was going to pay bills, etc. I just left. The mechanic my aunt and uncle are paying for says he can run the truck by Tuesday because he's back up until then, but I'll take that. Next week, my aunt will start looking for a good lawyer for me. My uncle suggested we call the state bar to see if lawyers need pro bono hours. Right now, I'm fully NC with my mom, and she's left me 5 or 6 texts that range from, "I'm sorry, let's talk about everything," to, "You're an ungrateful son. How could you betray me like this?" I'm just ignoring them. She was ready to call the cops on my aunt, so I can imagine she would have done